Hi, welcome back to Twin Terror. I'm David.
I'm Gary.
Today we're going to talk about Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson.
Yeah, because y'all just have Mike Johnson on the brain 24/7.
Who doesn't have Mike Johnson on the brain 24/7, right? Mikey Johnson has his hands full. He's like that worn down, tired parent who's been stuck watching a bunch of unruly children for hours and days and weeks and months on end.
Yeah, we call those school teachers.
Yeah, so
I know he's a school teacher.
yeah, God. So Mikey's got his hands full with all of these MAGA Republicans who aren't
Terrorists. So somebody who watches a bunch of unruly terrorists trample over social norms sounds like a school teacher to me.
You know,
He gets paid better.
that's true. A lot of folks that are MAGA, they didn't run to necessarily pass legislation. They just ran to take office and then get social media clicks.
Yeah.
And perform insider trading.
Right.
To boost their portfolios.
It's not about governing, it's about self-enrichment.
Yeah, and it's very difficult for Mike Johnson, who has the unenviable role of being the Speaker of the House, trying to get meaningful legislation passed when you've got a bunch of people who are more interested in social media clicks.
Thank God.
Yeah, well, that's
the
that's
legislation
true, right?
they want to pass is draconian.
Yeah, so on Thursday, Friday, they were trying to the budget committee was trying to advance Trump's big, beautiful budget bill, and they voted it down. And the reason why it got voted down is because 5 or 6 of the folks on the budget committee were very, very hardcore MAGA Republicans. And they didn't feel the budget was hurting enough people.
Yeah,
they
wanted more cuts to Medicare.
Yeah, so they voted no.
And there's a few New York reps who want the caps on state and local taxes raised. They're already raising it, but they want it raised a significant amount more. So you have on one side, some guys want to punish poor people, and on the other side, some want to enrich wealthier people.
Yes.
I don't see why you can't have both.
Yeah, it's ultimately the Republicans want to reduce the amount of spending on benefits and programs.
Wealth redistribution from wealthy people to poor people.
And they want to increase tax benefits to wealthy people.
Because wealth redistribution from wealthy people to poor people. I should get to keep more of my money, and you shouldn't be able to tell me what I do with it.
Right, and so...
Great 3-year-old logic, by the way.
So Mike Johnson has his hands full right now. You know, unfortunately, we are going to be the ones, we the people, will be the ones that get to experience the suffering from the wise folks that have been put into the House of Representatives.
And this is why Republicans don't hold town hall meetings.
Yeah.
Because they don't go well, do they?
No.
When you're about to alienate your voting base.
Yeah, hurting your constituents is not a great plan to get reelected.
Yeah, of course, assumes that elections are coming.
And that was the conversation we were having. Dave was like, well, what makes you... your assumption here is they might not vote for this because... Yeah, my assertion was they might not support this because you're hurting their constituents. And Dave's like, you're assuming there's going to be an actual election.
Right. And not to conspiracy theory, but dictators don't need elections. Elections get in the way of their agenda.
Yes. And make no mistake, the United States is on a fast track towards fascism right now. And I'm sure there are no MAGA people watching this, but if you are a MAGA supporter and you are watching this, trust me, we are on a fast track to fascism.
And that's because we're bitter libtards and our side laws.
Yeah, that's
or Marxist,
that's right.
as the case may be.
So, I just want to do a general reading on how Mike Johnson is feeling.
How Mike Johnson's lumpy pillows are feeling.
For entertainment purposes only. I'll let David take it after
right.
that.
Look at the energy around Mike Johnson as he tries to herd cats like a school teacher through the budget process just to get to a vote by the end of the month. Ace of Wands. Okay, I don't think this is him taking the leadership. This is him taking the big stick to people. Now, mind you, Trump is out there saying, stop grandstanding, get out and support. So he's going to pull out the big guns here. Crossed with the Six of Swords. Yeah, some folks are rocking the boat right now, but the big stick is going to be against the boat rocker. So there might be up to 6 Republicans who want to have what they want, whether it's deeper, like Chip Roy, deeper cuts to Medicare and Medicaid, or the Representative Leilotas who want increased caps on state and local taxes. Underneath is the Magician. It's the manifestation or the illusion. I think manifesting, basically, you can do both. Honestly, you can do both because you're helping wealthy people and punishing poor people, which just seems to be the GOP agenda at the moment. In the past, you got the Wheel of Fortune. Trump gets elected. They're trying to manifest this bill, and I think this card is they're going to hammer this thing home. Mm-hmm. You can take the hammer to the head or not. Your choice. Current situation is 4 of Swords. I think negotiations are going behind the scenes. There's discussions going on. Think about what you're doing here. Johnson could be strategizing, but I think this is talking with folks behind the scene. You only need to get like 3 of those votes. So you start working on which 3 can you intimidate over to your side of things. Overarching energy is King of Cups. Interesting. So Johnson's going to play the emotion cards on them. You gotta do this. We've got to support the Trump administration. You got to be a team player. I understand you want what you want, but this is all about compromise. Yeah. We'll get through this, and everything's going to be great. So he's going to be reaching out to people on an emotional front, trying to quiet them down. Outcome is the Nine of Swords. Now this is interesting.
That dovetails right to where I was going.
Yeah, there's a lot of anxiety that's going to come out of this. He may not get this done on the timeline he wants. The threat could be that we're going to make your life miserable if you don't agree with us. But ultimately, I think the outcome is, and this is my reading that I had go up on my channel today, is that I think he's going to get it out of the budget committee, and then the Republicans have to deal with the fallout of the dog catching the car. Congratulations. You got everything you wanted. You got tax breaks for wealthy people, and you punished poor people and took away their health care by saying it's not really cutting benefits, it's work requirements. But if you don't meet the work requirements, people with no money then don't eat.
Yes.
How do you reconcile that? Oh, you didn't work enough, so we're going to starve you to death, and then you'll be more motivated to work. No, you'll be more desperate, and probably crime will go up.
Yeah, so when you were getting ready to start your reading, my thought was, okay, what am I going to do? And I want to see what this looks like how the Republicans are feeling 6 months from now.
Down the line, yeah.
And
so that'll put us, we record this on May 17th, so that'll be November 17th, mid-November.
Yeah, just towards the end of the year.
A year before the elections.
Yes.
That may or may not happen.
And if the reading I had today about
Melania Trump and Justin Trudeau's
wild tryst. Today's reading was, Republicans in Congress. I'm starting
Justin
to see
Trudeau. And they're
stop.
Tryst.
I'm telling Mom.
Get those wooden spoon out.
No, the reading I was doing today was.
We ought to get like a little video clip of her like shaking the drawer, pulling out the wooden spoon, and then insert it in there whenever. That doesn't even have to have that.
You're just gonna have to watch today's video to know what I was gonna segue to. But I'm seeing chips in the veneer of the Republicans. They're not locked arm to arm in a united front for Trump. So 6 months from now, after this big, beautiful bill ultimately gets passed, how are they feeling about their decisions? How their life
cauliflower
choices?
that you have on your counter there looks like a brain.
It does look like a brain.
You should get that over here. Let's see what your brain.
Foundation of the reading. How are they feeling? It wasn't my big beautiful bill.
Yeah, we've done our job.
I can't believe Mike Johnson played my emotions like that. They are not owning it. This is definitely. I don't think things are going to go well, and they are not owning it.
Or somebody's walking away from
Someone's
this.
walking away from this. The cross of challenge is the Page of Pentacles, but this was a brand new approach, and all these great things were going to happen. It could also be how much you worship the almighty dollar, and they're realizing that there are going to be people that are like, no, I don't want to have any part of this. Because town halls coming up. The energy underneath it is the Seven of Pentacles. This is kind of reaping what you sow. Yeah. This is, for me, what the vibe I'm getting is they're going to pass this big beautiful bill. It's going to start impacting MAGA and their constituencies, and they're not going to be too happy about what's coming down the pike at them. In the past, Two of Swords, they had a choice. Mm-hmm. You could support this big, beautiful bill and punish people, or you can, try and legislate things that have benefit and value. I mean, I get it. We need to address the deficit, the budget deficit, but there are different ways of doing this.
Yep. It would be one thing if you're cutting spending, but not increasing, not giving tax cuts. Can you imagine if it was just they're gouging Medicare and Medicaid, SNAP programs, but there was no tax break for the wealthy?
Yeah.
You could sell it that we're cutting back on the deficit. Mm-hmm. But the fact that they are cutting, give the tax benefits to the wealthy is like $4 trillion, and these budget cuts are going to cut like what, half of $500 billion or $1 trillion. It doesn't. The math doesn't line up.
Nope. So. Yeah, because Trump wants to make his 2017 tax cuts permanent as a part of this, right?
They were supposed to sunset here,
and so they're supposed to sunset at the end of this year, I believe.
Right. It was set up that he would win the election, he would win his re-election, and when he was out, the tax breaks would go out too, and then they could blame the Democrats for raising taxes on wealthy people.
Yes.
That's how this thing was going to play out.
Didn't quite work out that way.
Nope.
So now they want to extend these tax cuts to corporations and wealthy people, and it's just today's point. You could probably keep all the programs if you just bring the tax back on corporations and wealthy people. It's okay. Warren Buffett has this great program teaching billionaires how to survive on $500 million.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Okay, so they had a choice. Current energy is the Knight of Swords. They rushed into it. In this case, they were just being reckless.
Damn the consequences. Got to get this done. Damn the consequences.
That's right. This is kind of that pressure campaign from Mike Johnson, forcing people to vote, forcing them to charge boldly forth and support Trump blindly, and they're not happy about it. They're walking away. Overarching energy is Ace of Cups. A big upwelling, a new emotion. There are going to be strong emotions from this. This is something that is going to impact people in a negative way. The wealthy are very wealthy, but they're vastly outnumbered.
I just remember one of the things Chip Roy wanted was, instead of letting Medicare, Medicaid work requirements start on January 1st, they wanted to start immediately.
Start right away. Yep.
So, Merry Christmas, you don't have health benefits.
Lovely.
Thankfully, you can get seasonal work.
Great.
And continue to eat. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yes. Lesson to be learned. Justice. If you act in a just fashion, people will be okay if you act unjustly.
You voted for this.
Yeah.
You voted for this. This is what you voted for.
Just desserts.
Yep. MAGA, it's what you voted for. Congratulations.
So, how are they feeling after 6 months? The outcome is, just as you supported this. Money.
Yeah, now they want the handout. Where's my $100, Elon? I need that money now.
The outcome is that Ace of Pentacles. So the aces are basically new, so a new beginning, if you will. Things of value. Now, you had mentioned in the past, learning your lesson, otherwise you're doomed to repeat.
Yeah, Dr. Lena was mentioning that on the hedgerow, you've got this gate here, and that gate is representative of learning your lesson. And if you don't learn your lesson, you get the opportunity to repeat it.
Right.
And lather, rinse, repeat until you finally learn it.
And that's, to me, this is what I'm seeing is either the voters are going to make their feelings be very clear to their elected representatives, or the elected representatives, it's probably tangential, will realize that, oh crap, this is something that wasn't what I wanted. I'm emotionally checking out from this, and I better not repeat that mistake, otherwise I can't keep the grift alive.
I think, again, MAGA is going to be the one who suffers the most under this budget and these decisions, because this is going to impact people with older people with less wealth, and rural people the most. That's who's going to be impacted by this. And those demographics tend to vote Republican.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's some of those demographics that learn their lesson and don't vote Republican, or don't vote Republican anymore.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they get caught up in this as well, which is...
As we all walk barefoot over Legos.
Over Legos.
Because some dipshits can't use critical thinking.
For entertainment purposes only, of course. Would you like to continue?
Where was I going to go with this? Let me pause for a second as I
we got to stack.
I had to get my strap-on brain.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. This makes me a lot smarter if I have poor posture. If only I'd watched the Brady Bunch episodes more as a kid, like Marcia, I'd have good posture. Okay. We decided that the question is, how is this going to impact MAGA over the long term here? Because we've looked at the general energy around this budget, how the Republicans are feeling about it, but MAGA is going to be the one that's impacted, especially if this goes through, which I think it will, and they do severe cuts and work requirements for Medicare, Medicaid, that sort of thing. And this is going to impact a bunch of pillars that would otherwise support the Republicans. What's going to be the impact on Republican support and upcoming elections, should we be so fortunate to have those? Strength card versus the Knight of Swords. Okay, how's MAGA? It's a bitter pill for them to swallow. There's going to be something that happens quickly with this Lover's card. I'm not sure what the Lover's card is. It's about deep relationships, deep agreement, almost karmic agreements here. That, hey, this is almost like this is the pill that you need to swallow to break through the cult. Knight of Swords. Change is coming quickly. In the past, the lunacy of the cult. We got 3 major arcana here. So something big is going to happen with MAGA supporters as they lose their benefits. They'll believe everything that they're told, and now all of a sudden, things are going quiet here. Losing your health care. It's almost like there's a slow dawning on them of what's going on. This is America, the star. Calm after the storm. There's some big cards coming up here. Am I getting the answer to that question? Queen of Swords. Well, again, this is kind of what you voted for. This is the America that you voted for. Are you happy with this? That's kind of where I'm getting this here. In the Chariot. Wow. Again, major arcanas. Looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcanas here.
5. You get the strength card.
No, strength card. 5. Yeah, this is just... There's a... It's a bitter pill to swallow. And there's going to be some anger about this. Kind of... It's going to take a little bit as they absorb what the hell just happened. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump and the Republicans were supposed to be helping them, and they didn't. It's like there's this dawning on them.
Exactly what it is.
The dawning of a new day that, hey, wait a minute. They did what they said they were going to do. It falls under that they're punishing the wrong people.
Yeah. The lepers were supposed to eat my face.
Exactly. And it's going to keep going. The cherry just tells me that this is just... And maybe it's something that this card right here, this starts gaining momentum. It starts off strong and gains momentum. That's if it goes through. But again, this is what you voted for.
Yes.
This is what you wanted. Maybe think about it next time.
Yes.
More time thinking, less time reacting.
When you pulled out that big thing of cauliflower, what it reminded me...
My strap-on brain.
Yes. It reminded me of that Monty Python sketch where the lady gets...
Nisbet?
I think it's Mrs. Zambezi.
Is it Zambezi?
I got a new brain.
I thought we had to launch Mrs. Nisbet out.
No, that was the Penguin sketch.
Oh.
Stapling machine. New brain. Stapling machine.
Strap-on brain.
All right, so thank you so much for watching. We truly appreciate it. If you like these videos, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe, hit the bell. We put out a new video every night at midnight. Leave a comment. I read them all, respond to many.
And unlike those other Twin Tarot channels, Gary likes to share secret cards.
I do. And since I've exhausted my list, let's just give a couple of shout outs here. So just for the last couple of people that commented. Sherrydale 75. It's such a burden. I know it's a burden.
It's hard to make it to the end of these videos.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Rena S. Hi, Rena.
But keep the faith.
I hope none of these people are trolling us. Nothing like calling out the trolls, right? And J Cat Lady, also a new commenter to the channel.
Right.
Wonderful. Hey, look at that. The perfect card for you.
A cat for the cat lady.
And a secret card for the rest of us so we can enjoy the rest of our day. You got that 9 of Wands. I know we just got to keep fighting. Keep fighting. We'll get to the end of this.
All right, everyone. Take care. Have a good one.
Bye.